Κυριάκου Mητσοτάκη is concerned about the rising energy costs in Europe at the moment. Indeed, he's been a proponent at the European Union of trying to find a way to cap those energy costs. Not all European Union nations feel the same way. He really feels that there should be a much stronger drive for stopping using hydrocarbons and moving towards renewables like wind, like solar, things that actually Greece has in abundance. But that sort of, if you will, undergirds one of the differences in the European Union at the moment. And as Russia potentially puts on pressure on the European Union by throttling back gas and oil supplies, and the European Union considers not buying Russia's oil and gas as part of a sanctions package, this really begins to sort of show up some of the differences within the European Union. And that's one of the things I talked to him about. But I began by asking him about the mood inside that NATO leaders meeting on Thursday.
I'd say a somber mood, an understanding that our world has changed. I think all of us, when we were elected to power, we never contemplated that we have to deal with a war on European soil. This was completely inconceivable. But this is exactly what is happening.
So Greece has given military support.
Greece has given not just humanitarian but also military support. We're currently hosting approximately 15,000 Ukrainians. We know we have to do much more. But we, Nick, we're a country that were on the forefront of the refugee crisis of the past. So we're very, very sensitive in terms of making sure that we can provide a safe place for Ukrainian refugees. And we know that in Europe we all need to do more because the numbers are just going to be overwhelming.
And there's been a lot of talk about possibly blocking imports of oil and gas from Russia to the European Union. But there are concerns. The cost of energy in Europe is going up. I know that's a concern to Greece. You're looking to the European Union to find caps on the cost of energy and a solution for that. Is Europe and the European Union becoming divided under this pressure from Russia over the level and type of sanctions it can apply?
We have put together a massive package of sanctions, unlike anything we've done in the past. And these sanctions actually do bite. You will see the Russian economy contracting by maybe 10%. All the gains that Russia has made over the past decade could be eradicated within a year. So these are very, very significant sanctions. Of course, when it comes to energy, we need to be very careful that whatever measures we take don't end up hurting us more than they hurt Russia.
But isn't that the point of sanctions, though? It's sanctions rather than fighting a war. And the freedoms of Ukraine and the freedoms that this war, in essence, is about, they don't come for free. And the European nations and the United States must expect some economic pain.
But we are already, I think we are all already paying a price. I think we certainly all need to reassess our growth forecasts. We're faced with significant inflationary pressures as a result of the war, and energy costs are really hurting, and they're hurting our citizens. But at the end of the day, as much as we have an allegiance to support Ukraine, we also have an allegiance to our citizens to make sure that they do not suffer more than they can actually bear.
Is America getting ahead of the pain that Europe can bear on this with what America would like to see, President Biden would like to see happen?
I mean, the truth is that the U.S. is much less dependent on Russian gas than Europe is. This is a reality. And of course, the energy transition now for Europe, this is no longer just a climate story, it's a geopolitical story.
Now, I also talked to him about his assessment of President Putin's mental acuity, if you will, at the moment. The idea that President Putin's officials still leave on the table the threat of use of tactical nuclear weapons, the idea that there are concerns that Russia may use chemical weapons. He said that he thought some of that was saber-rattling, but at the same time, he said he really hoped that President Putin could understand that there are red lines, bridges to cross from which you cannot come back from. He does hope that Putin doesn't cross those. He is concerned about it, but I think it paints that picture that there is still the potential there for President Putin to back off and not be entirely alienated and made a pariah from the international community, although many nations around the table at NATO, at the G7, at the European Council Leaders Summit today, many nations may feel that, but that is not potentially a united position yet. There is scope for President Putin to back off now, although no indication whatsoever that he's going to do it, Hala.